Hey, what's going on YouTube? Billy AZ Prospector back. Hey, I want to bring you a video today that talks about this. This is a Geiger counter that was provided by the Civil Defense back during the Cold War era. And I think these were modeled and manufactured right around the 1960s. And I do have some radioactive material that does pick up on this. So I wanted to go ahead and pull some out and actually just kind of go around and check what is radioactive and how much, what the ratage is per hour, what's dangerous, what isn't dangerous, etc. So what I wanted to show you real quick though is I got this whole kit. I picked this kit up at a yard sale actually in Sun City, Arizona, and it was from the Civil Defense, and it came with all the different ones. It's kind of cool because there's these different things, little pins that you could have walked around with when you were working with radioactive material. These pins you just kept in your pocket and you would walk around with them, and basically whenever you were around radioactivity, you could bring these pins back in and put them into this checker right here, if I can get it out. What this little unit did is it would actually rate, see the date on there from 74. This thing would actually rate and tell you how much radiation you were impacted by. So what you would do, it's kind of neat, you basically take this off. This was a charging contact, which had a light indicator down at the bottom, and it ran off of a D-cell battery. So you would unscrew that, and you would simply put the reading unit that you walked around with on, and you would put it on top there, and it would illuminate the top here, and it would tell you how much radiation you were, you basically allowed yourself to come in contact with without even knowing it. Radiation is something that really interests me just because it's kind of like what we're dealing with right now in the world with everything going on. It's something that you can't see, but it's actually happening to you or happening around you, which is quite interesting. The physics and chemistry around all things radiation, nuclear, times and stuff like that. It's all really interesting to me. It's just something that, back in the day there was prospectors right after the Cold War, stuff like that, where people were actually going out and prospecting for uranium, and we're trying to find it using machines just like this. And quite honestly, in northern Arizona is an area that was littered with mines. Now most of them on the reservation, but it's quite interesting. So let's have some fun. Let's kind of jump in here. Let's mess around with some specimens that I got a while back and see what this does. So bear with me just a second here while I kind of get this set up, and we'll jump in there and kind of see what we can mess around with. So this first piece is Andersonite. Andersonite is actually something that it was my great uncle's stone that he found when he was working. He worked for the USGS, and he worked for a lot of different mining companies all around Arizona back in the day. So here's a piece of Andersonite that would have been found and named after him. And what it is the uranium type radioactive material is actually the yellow product there on the stone. You can see it's white, but then it's yellow. And that was found, I think he originally found that in the Baghdad mine. And let me zoom in there so you can kind of see what we're looking at there. But what I want to do is I want to turn on this Geiger counter, and I wanted you to take a listen for yourself to see if you can hear this and see for yourself. So this is actually indicating that this will pull up on 7,000 on the mark. So let's see if you can have a listen. Sorry, got a lot of planes flying overhead too. So I'm not sure if you can hear that or not. So there's that piece. It is showing up on the dial indicator when I have it sitting here. If I put the indicator here and I just let it sit next to that, on the dial indicator it's actually going up quite a bit. So you can actually see what I'm talking about. So if I pull it away, the rating goes down. If I put it back next to the specimen again, it goes back up quite a bit. Now this is actually the lowest setting that it picks up, so if I switch this dial down to one more, it would still pick up, but it's not going to be as high as a reading on there. You can see it's quite low actually. So the radiance per hour, I guess is how you say that, is actually pretty low. You would actually have to make this really dangerous for yourself, you'd really have to probably crush it and breathe it in for it to actually be dangerous. But like you can see, I'm wearing my gloves and keep it wrapped up. And I need to keep it in a better contained box than what I have it in, but this is kept away from everything else. So, all right, up next, guys, is a piece of CARNOTITE. This actually came out of Cottonwood, Arizona. So it's another specimen that, again, is going to have the yellow. Basically, everything around it, any of the radioactive material is that yellow. There's some more right there. And you know, it's interesting because if you would never know it, you would just be walking around and you would walk right by something like that and not think anything of it. But let's have a listen on this one and see what this picks up. It's actually not that bad. Hardly hearing anything on that. So it's actually quite low. But nevertheless, guys, I actually have a treat for you. So that's a small piece from a different mine, so I just collected it because it was from a different mine. How about a piece of CARNOTITE that actually came from Apache County? Let's see what that one does. This one I got just quite frankly because I've not seen another piece like it anywhere else. So wait till you see this one. Look at that. That one is gonna talk. Let's have a look at this one. And let's have a listen. Very radioactive. Nothing there. Come back. Very radioactive. Using these headphones here, I need to get an external speaker. So you might be asking why have these. If you go look at any of the prepper videos, especially with everything going on right now, that's actually something that a lot of people are talking about, is having these, because a lot of the modern ones that you would have, if you would put a specimen like that up to it, it would blank out the little machine that they have. You know, it's about that big, and they're electronic, or the ones that, you know, go into your phone, and you can just have in your phone and walk around with that. Yeah, it might have a reading, but any high levels like that stone itself lets off, it's going to just blank out the piece altogether, and it's really not worthwhile. So something like this is worthwhile to have if you're a prepper and if stuff ever, you know, hits the fan and you got to be out and about and doing your thing. You need to be able to check where you're at, you know, if there's fallout or anything like that. These things are able to protect you, really. So it's just kind of a neat thing. I picked it up at a really good deal, and there's another one too. Let's see if this one can actually pick up and see what that one gives us, if that's how it works. That was my understanding of it. Thought it said the rating was on the top there. Yeah, you can see the dial indicator starting to move there. So it's continually going up as I just set it there. And it'll continue to climb because this particular stone has quite a bit. So that one's more so just for the specimens that you would walk around and put stuff on and just kind of check it out and see. And then this one's where you can actually use that rod and actually test it yourself. So I want to see if I can't change this fitting and kind of have an external speaker. I've seen people do that, which has been pretty neat, and you could actually hear it audibly outside the unit instead of wearing these like this little 60s headphone that looks like it came right out of World War II or something. Anyways, I just hope you guys like this video. If you got nothing else better to do, nothing else going on, I hope you enjoyed this. This is just kind of another one of my unique collections that I have, and go ahead and leave a comment below and let me know what you guys are thinking, what you guys are up to. If you guys are confined in your home, hope you guys get a little bit of joy out of this, and I'll catch you on the next one.